All right, guys, there has been a lot of updates going on with the Alexee Trevizo case. And we have things such as appeals, more information about some of the sealed documents that technically are not sealed. And we're going to get into that, letting you guys kind of take a look at a lot of different things. We're going to talk about some motions, some subpoenas that were filed, and probably answer a couple of clout chasers questions regarding the medical records. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm not quite sure where to start. Let's go ahead and start with the smaller motions, and then we're going to get into the appeal that was filed. So the first document that was filed is called a motion to quash. And what happened is that Gary Mitchell has been trying to apparently get the medical records from Artesia General Hospital, get formal records. He filed the subpoena to Artesia General Hospital District, who then turned around and sent something back stating that the district as a whole, I guess, is a separate entity than the hospital themselves. And because of that, there's no medical records for them to give to him. So here is that document. Okay, so it's State of New Mexico versus Alexee Trevizo, a motion to quash the subpoena. And it says, comes now, Artesia General Special Hospital District, here and after referred to as ASHD, through its attorneys, Martin Jr. And so basically the hospital district, just to kind of sum it up, you guys can pause to read, is saying that the attached subpoena that they asked for is basically nothing that they can comply with in a nutshell. They served the subpoena on the 2nd. The medical records at Artesia General Hospital was served. Medical records is not the agent for service of process. I guess just the way that the paperwork was processed, the way it was served. And again, not to mention that the district and the hospital are two separate entities. Moving to this page, it gives us an idea of what it is that Gary Mitchell is looking for. He is asking to release, that the release includes but is not limited to the medical reports, the clinical notes, the nurse's notes, the patient's history of injury, subjective and objective complaints, x-rays, x-ray reports, interpretations, other diagnostic tests, diagnosis, prognosis, emergency room records, just all of the things that they're going to need to kind of see the history and to move forward with this case. The second part talks about any other documents, records, or information that is in their possession relative to Alexee Trevizo and or Alex Ray Fierro, past, present, future, physical, and mental condition. Contemplating if I do or don't want to address the lowly YouTuber who thinks that she has got all of this handled and she knows everything that has gone on and knows exactly what happened with the medical records and the leak and everything else. But we're going to save that for another video. So there's also been a few other things that have been filed. We have a motion to provide the tapes, all the proceedings, the record proper, the court reporter's minutes, all exhibits, as well as an appointment for counsel. And what that basically means is, as we know in the criminal case, that Alexee has requested a public defender to also assist with this trial. So Gary Mitchell, as well as the public defender's office, are both handling this case. So there was a motion for the public defender's office to also handle the appeal that the state has filed regarding the motion to suppress. In Gary Mitchell's motion to provide the tapes of all of the proceedings, different things like that, he talks about the appellate division. Now, I don't want to make this video 20 minutes long or whatever the case may be, so I'm going to briefly touch on some things, and then I'm going to do a part 2. That part 2 is going to specifically be the appeals document because it is long, and we're going to go ahead and read on over it, and I'm going to point out a couple of different things regarding the medical records, what evidence they have, as well as the, again, so-called sealed documents that are actually addressed in the appeal. However, as far as this goes, it says that the defendant is instant. The appellate division of New Mexico Public Defender Department must, in order to be effective, review all of the tapes, the proceedings, to determine if, in fact, there is a docketing statement of issues. In other words, if the appeal was prepared accurately, if everything is correct, if the issues which are being litigated actually have any merit. Basically, are they legit? Is there something that should even be argued? In order to effectively represent Alexee, the undersigned, basically the attorneys, need to review the tapes of the proceedings to raise any issues that, again, it says has merit. For those who don't understand the legal terminology, it's basically like legitimate arguments. Due to the actions of the U.S. Supreme Court regarding writs of habeas corpus and decisions of New Mexico Supreme Court regarding matters not raised in the docketing statement or statement of issues and on appeal, it's absolutely imperative that a proper trial record be provided so that effective representation can be given. So basically what that means is that it's with any case, whenever you are going to fight something, argue something, you have hearings, you have paperwork, you have to be extremely specific. If it is not raised on these documents, then it is not something that can be later argued. It's not something that can be included in a ruling. We're going to get to that in the appeal, and you will understand why this is all kind of coming to a head. So again, you guys know how to get to my drive. In case you don't, there is a link tree underneath my profile. You click on that, you go to court records, scroll down to Alexee Trevizo, and all of the documents are going to be in there. All of the documents. When I say all, I mean all. And again, I'm going to reiterate a couple of things in part 2 of this video.